Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome to the Snowboard Pro Camp live chat. We'll be on here for the next hour to answer all your questions. And I know a lot of you guys are buying snowboard gear, so this is a great time if you have any questions about snowboard gear to hit me up. Recently, I've picked up a few new things, so I'm stoked to share that with you guys. And at the moment, I'm snowboarding in Zermatt, Switzerland. So I've been in Zermatt the last 4 or 5 days. Here for a few more days. But yeah, finally got my snowboard gear together for the season. Had to pick up a few new things for the season. So I'm going to share that with you guys. But yeah, let's start out by saying what's up to a few people early to the chat. We got Liv Washington. We got Hamed here. We got Nathan. Nathan asking, is Kevin in... Is Zermatt in Switzerland? Yeah, it's in Switzerland. Bartos wants to know if I betrayed Sandbox. No, just went with just trying out different helmets. Yeah, this year I think I'm going to be riding the Smith Maze helmet. It's actually just a really light, comfortable helmet. I've been really liking that one. Jonathan wants to know, how aggressive is the Headspace camber profile compared to the DOA? It's actually not that aggressive. The Headspace, I believe it's like Canoe's C3 profile, which is still not that aggressive. It's not like an aggressive camber board. I would say it's comparable. If not, even the DOA may actually be more aggressive than the Headspace. So the Headspace has got a pretty mellow camber. All right, let's give a few more people a shout outs and see if there's a few more opening questions. Tim wants to know, hey Kev, how did the Scott Stevens Pro perform on small, medium-sized jumps? Greetings from Austria. Awesome, Tim. Yeah, thanks for tuning in from Austria, man. The Scott Stevens Pro, it's okay on jumps. Like it's not the... To me, the Scott Stevens is better. Like, I think it's good for small jumps. I think it'd be good for smaller jibs. But for me, on maybe medium jumps, it may be a bit too soft. So for medium jumps, I'd prefer a stiffer board. But I think if you are a more beginner to low intermediate rider, then the Scott Stevens could be perfect. All right, wow, lots of questions. If you guys want to let me know where you guys are watching from as well, it's always amazing to see where everyone's watching from. Daniel says, question, how do you know when you should re-wax your snowboard? You want to wax your snowboard every 3 to 5 times you ride, depending on the day and how long of a day you're snowboarding. But you can often you can just look at your base and you can tell that it's looking a bit dry. But yeah, a good rule is, every 3 to 5 times you ride. All right. Diego with the super chat just says thank you. Awesome. Thanks, Diego. Thanks for the support, man. Appreciate it. Oscar says, which snowboard boots do you recommend for beginners? Good question. Yeah, awesome question, Oscar. With snowboard boots, it's kind of difficult, but for me, like the last couple of years, 2 snowboard boot brands I've really liked have been Adidas. For me, they've just been really comfortable boots. And for a beginner, you could probably go with like the lower priced boots. So boots that are across their line, the most inexpensive. And with those boots, they're going to be a bit softer, and they're also going to maybe have laces, or maybe a combination of BOA and traditional laces. But yeah, for a beginner, just start with an inexpensive pair and make sure you try them on. And they should actually be fairly comfortable even in the store. Like, one thing I've learned is that with boots, you want them to be comfortable. So wear them around for a while and make sure they're comfortable on your feet. But yeah, I ride the Adidas Sambas, but I've also had the Vans High Standard Pro. and both have been very comfortable to me, and a lot of my friends find those boots really comfortable as well. All right, maybe may take a minute just to talk about one new piece of gear that I picked up just an hour ago from Julin Sports. Shout out to Mika there, was like really helpful to get us set up with a few things. But I did pick up for my snowboard backpack this year, I'm going to be riding a Jones backpack. So I think this is the Jones Descent. And one of the reasons I got it actually was my friend Yannick, who I've been riding with, has this same backpack. And it's like pretty similar to my Dakine, and like size is a 25 liter. My Dakine Heli Pro is a 24 liter, and some similar pockets. But I do like that it's just like the flat black, and I think one upgrade over the Dakine, it has some really nice straps that go around your waist, so that looks really nice. But the highlight is actually the helmet carry feature. So inside here, there's like a little mesh like webbing that actually goes over your helmet if you're carrying, if you don't want to wear your helmet to the mountain. So you can just put your helmet here and then put this mesh like kind of protection over top of it, and it secures it to your backpack without having to strap your helmet to your bag, which is what I've been doing for years. So I think that that is like a huge selling point for me, because I'm constantly carrying my helmet on my bag when I'm not using it, and that helmet carry feature is, I think, amazing. It's definitely sold me. And it also looks like it has some like waterproof like type material around the bottom, which is good if you're putting your bag into the snow. But yeah, I'm really stoked on this Jones backpack. I'm sure that Jeremy Jones has put some thought into designing this well with all the hiking that he does. And then also has a snowboard carry feature as well. So you can slide your snowboard through here and strap it up and carry your snowboard on your back. So this year my backpack is going to be the Jones Descent, I believe. But yeah, the highlight is definitely this like helmet carry. I'll show you guys one more time. Yeah. So your helmet will go here, and then this mesh like holds on to it. So that is pretty cool. All right, let's get a few more questions. El Takota says, any thoughts on the Arbor Westmark Camber Frank April edition? Nice. Yeah, I've ridden the Westmark Camber once or twice, and I've ridden the Westmark Rocker as well. Yeah, it's a pretty cool board. I think like the Westmark Camber, and then especially the Frank April edition, is good for like riding with some speed, hitting jumps. I think it's a bit of a stiffer camber park board. So if you like riding in the park and hitting jumps and need a board that's a bit more sturdy, I think that that's the perfect board. And the grip tack, I think, also gives it a bit of extra grip on ice, or if you're carving on a groomed run. So some cool stuff there. All right, everyone's telling me they're from all over the place here. We got Wisconsin, Toronto, Switzerland, awesome. Australia, Illinois, awesome. Yeah, New York, Massachusetts, Big Bear. Oh, Reds is saying 125 in the live chat, 22 likes. Smash the like button. Awesome. Thanks, Reds Cap. Appreciate it, man. Marlin. Oh, Marlin's on here. He says he's watching from the watching from Austria in the Capita mothership. Awesome, Marlin. Thanks for tuning in. Yeah, if you guys don't know, definitely check out this video. A few weeks ago, I made a video at the Capita mothership. And cool story, like when I first went to the factory, I kind of just showed up, and I wanted to see if I could talk to somebody and see if I could do some filming at the Capita factory there. And yeah, I went in and I was talking to one or two people, and then Marlin actually came out from behind his desk and was kind of the person who kind of set up the whole thing for me to start making the video. So huge shout out to Marlin. As you guys can see, I've got the Capita Super DOA behind me. So Capita gave me a couple boards. But before that, I was actually riding the Capita Outsiders as well. A really solid board. I was actually riding the Capita Outsiders in the park today. But the Capita Super DOA, a board I'm really stoked on. It's very light. It's got lots of snap in the tail for ollies, and it's got a good stiffness to it as well. So for riding at high speeds, it's not too aggressive, but it's aggressive enough to give you that stability at high from tip to tail, but also torsionally. It's got good. Capita DOA, I think, is going to be one of my go-to boards for the season, for either for going into the terrain park or just riding the mountain. Really on board. For powder, I probably won't be riding the Super DOA 2 powder. Although when I was in Hintertux, Austria, I did ride the Capita Super DOA quite a bit in the powder snow. So yeah, really fun board. But yeah, big shout out to Marlin. Thank you. Thanks so much, man, for helping me make that mothership video. I appreciate it. Weekly bike rail guys. Jonathan Buckhouse is here. Awesome. What's up, Jonathan? Rob with the super chat says, can you review a Burton custom board? I know you don't really ride Burton boards, but getting an updated perspective on them would be sweet. Thanks. Yeah, I haven't ridden a Burton board in a while. One reason I'm not like the biggest fan of the EST channel system, but I get the first half of Snowboard Pro Camp. I was actually, like a few years ago, I did ride a lot of Burton boards, so I got a few in then. But yeah, if I get the chance to, I'll definitely be happy to test some out for you guys, this winter. Riley says, I want one pair of goggles. Any good goggles that don't look too alien? Man, yeah, you don't want to get that alien bug eye look happening too much. But the goggles I ride are Anon M4s. M4 is actually like the biggest, I think it's the biggest one they make. So you may not want to get the biggest one unless like a really enormous head. But other Anon goggles are also the M3s. They're a bit smaller. And I don't think they don't have that bug eye look. They're the cylindrical lens. So the lens is more of like a flat style lens. And yeah, it's not spherical, it's more cylindrical. Another one you could check out would be the Oakley Line Miners. They're also like the more flat looking lens. And yeah, the Line Miners and the Anon M3s or M4s, I think all have, they're all pretty, they all like, you can see really well out of them. They come with some good lenses and yeah, minimal bug look. All right. CB says, I surf and skate a lot. How fast do you think I could learn to snowboard? I'm from Los Angeles. Yeah, I think you could probably learn to snowboard really quickly. Like skateboarding and surfing and skateboarding is just so much more difficult boarding. So once you strap that snowboard on and start going down the snow, I think you may find it a little bit, it'll take you maybe a few runs to kind of figure it out, but then once you understand like where to put your weight and how to use your edges, then you'll be like stuff like anytime I've ever taught like somebody that comes from a skate or a surf background, they pick it up like really quickly. So yeah, and you have an amazing mountain not too far from Los Angeles too, Big Bear, so you can head up there, or there's a few other resorts there as well. Lots of good places to snowboard up near you. Brazilian, which waxing iron do you like? Have you tried different styles? Recommendations? I've actually only owned one waxing iron. It's a Burton waxing iron. I think I've had it for like 15 years. So I feel like they're not that different across like Dakine, Burton. Not even, yeah, there's a few others, but I think they're all pretty similar. In Motion SLB saying Jones backpack is quality. All right. Diogo says, "Hey man, I just moved to Montreal. I'm hyped to go snowboarding. Would you recommend a cool place to go?" Nice man. Yeah, Montreal. I guess there's like a bunch of resorts right near there. I've actually never. Well, I've been to one place, Mount Tremblant near Montreal. So I think that's one of the best places. So I would hit that one up for sure. And Mount St. Anne is not too far away as well. But other than that, I don't know too many others. So maybe check out Tremblant or Mount St. Anne. I'm not sure. Tremblant might be on the Epic Pass, but yeah, there's some great ones near Montreal. So have fun, man. Army Vet MTV says, "Did you get to try the Spring Break Pow Twin?" Not yet, but yeah, I'm gonna hopefully bug Marlin or Mark back in Seattle, who's does some work for Capita as well, and hopefully get my hands on some Spring Break Pow boards, because I'd be stoked to try a few of the different Spring Break boards. Yeah, there's a big line. I don't know if you guys have seen the video I made a few weeks ago. I like went through the whole lineup, kind of like an overview of the boards. But yeah, the Powder Twin looks awesome. So hopefully get to try the Powder Twin, maybe the Pow Racer, and yeah, see what other ones I can get my hands on. Matthew says, "What bindings you repping this year, man?" I just got the 2020 Orca in and haven't decided on bindings yet. So the bindings I'm probably going to be riding most of the time. So these ones are probably the ones that are best for like an Orca, is the Union Atlas. So I actually went to the Union Factory a little while ago and they gave me these ones. So the Union Atlas, and I got to ride the Atlas. I bought a pair 2 seasons ago and rode them on my Orca from a couple of seasons ago. So that's going to be my like all mountain powder binding, because it's a stiffer snowboard binding. And then the bindings I'm using for park are Union Stratas, which are much softer. So yeah, softer Stratas, and then the Atlas for like stiffer all mountain powder riding, something that would go well with an Orca. Oh wow. All right, we got people here from Romek from Estonia, Wyatt from Moscow, Keegan from Ontario. Drawer says, "Do you think ski resorts will open this year?" I do, yeah. At the moment, so Zermatt in Switzerland's open. In Europe, I think Laux is open. There may be like 1 or 2 others. I think there's a place called Glacier 3000 that's open. In North America, I know that Keystone, Colorado is opened. I think Loveland, I think it's called Loveland. Loveland, I think, is open. I think a few other places are scheduled to open in Colorado. And I believe that the plan is Whistler is going to open at the end of November. So I think things are slowly opening. It's still kind of early, like mid-November, so we still have a few weeks for all the resorts to open up. And I know on the East Coast, it's like early December, mid-December, everything starts opening up. So yeah, I think everything will open. Beckett says, "I'm 13 and recently got a bigger board. I was told that I might have trouble with it, but I will be growing, so I will fit it better later. Should I get a smaller one or stick with it?" It depends. Yeah, that's a tough one, Beckett. I feel like, well, one thing with snowboards is that if you grow out of a snowboard, you can also sell that one when you need to buy a bigger one as well. So it's, I would probably try to get the board that fits you like properly now, and then once you grow out of that one, maybe sell it to a friend or give it to somebody. But yeah, it's tough because with a bigger board, it's like, it is a lot, and it does make snowboarding a lot harder. So if the board is like too big on you, then maybe try to get a smaller one. A good rule, like a general rule, you can check the sizing charts on boards. on the internet. So maybe check that out to see like how much bigger, like is it way too big for you? So maybe check that out. But like most of my boards come up to like around like here, around the middle of my neck. So that's kind of a rough guide. But if you can, check the sizing charts online, and that'll give you a good idea of like what is a sweet spot for board size for you. Crazy Gamer says, have you checked out the L1 Premium 2020 Huron overalls? I'm thinking about picking a pair up. I don't think I've seen those, but I was just in a shop in town here looking at some of the L1 outerwear. It looked pretty cool, like very cool styles. I didn't go with an L1 jacket, but I'm sure the overalls are nice, man. So yeah, I guess it depends, like how waterproof are they? How do they fit? All those kinds of things. But yeah, L1 looks like they've got some pretty cool stuff. Actually, this may be a good time to show you guys, give you guys like a peek, a preview of the jacket I picked up for 2021. So you guys know I like Gore-Tex. I've been riding Volcom jackets the last few years. So I picked up another Volcom jacket. Can't quite show you guys the whole thing. It's hard, there's not a ton of space. But I did pick up a Volcom stretch Gore-Tex jacket. I think it's the Volcom BL stretch Gore-Tex jacket. I'm not sure why it's called BL, but yeah, it's got like the combination of kind of like this like tan color with some yellow and gray. And yeah, the stretch Gore-Tex is like amazing. As soon as I tried on a few different jackets that were Gore-Tex, being on the west side of Canada, we get a lot of like wet days. So not having Gore-Tex can be a challenge when you're snowboarding and the snow's wet or if it's raining. But yeah, with this Gore-Tex jacket, it's like you can really feel the stretchiness to it. So like while you're riding and if you're doing any movements or anything, then having like that stretch Gore-Tex I think is huge. The other thing with this jacket is it's very light. So if you're trying on snowboard jackets, I would recommend looking for a jacket that's comfortable, that you can move well in, and that's not too heavy, because when you're out snowboarding, you want to feel like everything is very light and you can move easily. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, I think it's a pretty cool design. The pants I'm wearing with it are Volcom stretch Gore-Tex pants as well. So just black stretch Gore-Tex pants, and yeah, I think it's going to be a good combo for the season. All right. Oh, we got Mika is on here too. He says, "Hey man, nice to have you at the shop before. Keep up the good work and push snowboarding. Awesome. Hashtag we live snowboarding." Yeah, if you guys come and visit Zermatt, definitely check out the Julin Sports, and it's like it's right in the center of town. Julin, I think what's the name? Intersport. It's yeah, the chain I think is called Intersport, but the shop is called Julin. And downstairs they have like a ton of snowboards, bindings, boots, gear. And yeah, if Mika is there working, he's like a super knowledgeable, helpful guy. Helped me to yeah, grab the backpack. I also got my boards repaired at Julin because the Super DOA and my Scott Stevens kind of got beat up a little bit in Hintertux. We were riding a few POW days. And early season POW days, there's definitely some like rock hazards under the snow. So the guys at Julin did an awesome job tuning out my board as well. So, but yeah, that's awesome that Mika is on here too. Yeah, awesome, awesome shot, man. It was cool to talk some snowboarding with you. Ben Rowe Zakai with the super chat. Awesome, thanks for the support, man. If you have a question or a comment, let me know. Harrig G says, what do you think about Vans boots versus Adidas? Which one do you like better? Yeah, it's a tough question. I feel like they're both right there. They're both my two favorites. I may like Adidas maybe slightly better. I feel like with the Adidas Samba boots I'm riding, they're just a little bit stiffer than the Vans High Standard Pro, and I think I like that extra just bit of stiffness. They're not too stiff. They're still like a 5 out of 10, but the Adidas High Standard Pro are maybe just a bit softer, like a 3.5 or a 4. So I like them both. I like the traditional laces. They're both like very comfortable. But yeah, I think at the moment, I'll probably go back to Vans at one point just to like keep going back and forth and comparing. But the Adidas Sambas have been great, comfortable, and just like, I think the best boots are the ones that you don't even think about that you're wearing. You're just snowboarding, having like a good time and not worrying about your gear. And the Adidas Sambas like do exactly that. All right. Joystick says, what is your opinion on Ruroc snow sports helmets? Yeah, Ruroc helmets, they're not like, for me, like I don't need like the full face protection. So that's not my that's not something I need, but I see a lot of people wearing Ruroc. And I think it's like the type of helmet where if you feel like you need it, like you need to protect your face or just to like shield your face from the elements, I think some people like really love them. Um, but for me, like doing the videos and just being out in the winter, like I don't mind having my face exposed a little bit. I just like maybe grow a beard a little bit longer. But yeah, so for me, it's not my style, but I know that some people really love them. So I think they have uh, their place in snowboarding for sure. Um, Sturla says Union Force versus Union Strata for the Battalion Camel Toe, the Battalion CT. I think it kind of depends maybe on your riding style a little bit. I would go with Union Force if you are a little bit more of an intermediate rider, maybe not riding like with a ton of speed, but if you're a really aggressive rider and hitting some like maybe some drops or just riding some aggressive like powder with speed or just through some aggressive terrain, then maybe the Union, actually, sorry, I thought you said Union Atlas, the Union Strata. Okay, let me fix that then. The Union Force, if you're a bit more of an aggressive rider, Union Strata, if you're a bit more mellow and you want to ride the Battalion CT, almost more like a surfboard, making it a bit more surfy. So yeah, the Force for more aggressive, Strata for a bit more mellow. All right, tons of questions here, guys. Thanks so much. I'm having a hard time keeping up with them all, but gonna try to get to as many as possible. Scott C saying, keeping that Big Bird theme this year. Looking forward to the sick videos. Thanks, Kevin. Yeah, like not quite full Big Bird, but yeah, still got some like bright colors on this jacket. So I think like it's important, I think when you're out riding, especially if it's like stormy conditions or cloudy or yeah, powder days, to have some like bright colors. And then if you're riding with friends, they can kind of like see you and everyone can kind of keep an eye on each other. And it's just a lot easier with like a jacket or pants with some brighter colors. Exebek says, does it run true to size or larger? The Volcom, I think Volcom jackets, at least this one, the BL Stretch Gore-Tex, it's not very like wide, but it is like a longer jacket. So for me, it's like I usually ride an XL jacket, and this one, it fits like widthways, it feels normal, but maybe just a little bit more length. And for me, I'm a bit taller. I'm 6'3", so I need like a longer length jacket. So that one is perfect. So yeah, I would think about that when you're buying one. But I think like, yeah, width wise, it fits like normal or even like slightly slim fit, and a bit of a longer fit. But yeah, for me, it's the perfect fit. I'm slim and a bit tall, so it fits perfect. E. Smith says, "What do you think about Capita versus Battalion boards, Kevin?" Awesome. For me, like, it depends on the riding you're doing. So, Battalion, I'm not the biggest fan of Battalion for like park riding or for like firm snow style riding because of the 3BT. It's a little bit too like loose of a ride. You don't get as much like stability from a Battalion snowboard. So I'd prefer like a Capita board that has like the full like a more of a length camber profile with the contact points and contact with the snow. I think that's important for control. So for like resort riding or for park riding, I think I'd prefer Capita. But for in the powder, I actually recently got the Battalion Surfer for powder riding. So I'm pretty stoked to try that board out in some like trees or some deep snow. We were hoping to get out to Japan again this year. I'm not sure if that'll happen if the borders stay shut. But yeah, Battalion I think is pretty cool for riding through powder because then the like the spoon shape and the nose really helps you to kind of steer through the powder and have that real like surf kind of inspired feel. But that being said too, like Capita's got some awesome POW boards as well. So yeah, there's just different trade-offs between different companies and also different styles of boards for different styles of riding. Zebek says, do you pair stiff bindings with stiff board? Yeah, normally I try to match the stiffness of the binding with the board. It's not always the case, but a lot of the times it's kind of like a good general rule. All right. Adidas Midge Nam says, I want to buy the Solomon Huck knife. I spend a lot of time in the park, but sometimes on the slopes. Is this a good board? Yeah, it's like a good park board. It's a little bit on the softer side for a park board, so I think it's like around a 3.5 or 4 for flex. So it may be a little bit playful on just the regular slopes. It may not give you the most control, but it is I think a fun park board. Especially if you're like beginner intermediate park rider, I think the Solomon Huck knife is like solid. But yeah, if you want to ride more aggressively in the slopes, then maybe get it a bit more of a stiffer park. Desmond wants to know, are you able to travel to the US right now? So I'm not 100% sure. I think Canadians can take like flights to the US. So I've heard that if you fly, they'll let you into the country, but you can't drive over the border. A lot of the snowboard trips I do from Whistler, Canada, like down to the States, I've done through just like driving down. So I don't think I can do that, but there may be some opportunities to fly. So I'm gonna look into it and hopefully be able to, hopefully they'll let me in if I book a flight, but we'll wait and see. JT wants to know pros and cons of wide versus narrow stance. Awesome question, man. I think so. Wide stance, I think, is going to give you more stability. It's like if somebody goes to push you over and you have a really wide like kind of stance happening for some reason. If that were to happen, you're going to be more stable and you're going to be able to stand your ground a little bit more. So if you are like a snowboard racer, and you have a bit of a wide stance, it's really going to help give you that stability to just lower your center of gravity and just like and be stable. compared to a narrower stance, I think allows you to be a bit more, allows you to move a little bit easier on top of your board. So for butters or for jibbing, sometimes in the park, like a narrower stance actually helps, because it just allows you to bend your knees in different ways and get your body into different positions, and also like move your weight more across your board. So a narrower stance, I think, lets you be a little bit more free on top of your board, but the trade-off is that I don't think you're quite as stable. So you don't want to go too narrow, but you also don't want to go too wide, because a really wide stance, you kind of get stuck. A really wide stance, it makes it so that you can't move around as much, and you may feel like stable and like you won't fall over, but you also won't be able to be very maneuverable on your board. So there's a few trade-offs there. Recently, I actually made my stance like slightly narrower, and I think it's the trade-off is with a slightly more narrow, you can kind of be a bit more free on top of your board. So kind of depends on what to do, but it's a good idea to like play around with your stance, maybe try it a bit narrower, try it a bit more wide, and see like that sweet spot that you like. All right, we got a super chat from Fireblade69. He says, hey dude, hope you're enjoying Europe. Looks sucky this season due to lack of insurance availability for trips, not on the fly list for the UK. Yeah, sorry to hear that, man. I know it's tough at the moment, so I hope things can kind of go back to normal a bit and you can get in some snowboard trips. But yeah, and I've been loving Europe. It's been amazing. There's so many places across Austria, Italy, Switzerland, France to snowboard here. So I'm definitely gonna, I'm planning on going back to Canada shortly. So we'll have to come back and do some more Europe, visit more places in Europe soon. But I hope you get to go on some flights soon, man. Yo Peter said with the super chat, thanks Yo Peter for the support, says, any plans on visiting the Battalion Factory? No plans at the moment. I think that's in Dubai. The battalion, I think battalions are made in Dubai. So yeah, that's kind of like a long ways away, but maybe at some point I'll get to visit it. I think there's a few different boards made all in the same factory there. I believe is it the Nidecker factory in Dubai? So at some point, maybe I'll check it out, but no plans in the immediate future. Joshua wants to know, Canoe Headspace out of the park performance. Yeah, that board I think is pretty fun outside the park. For groomers, it does have the magnet traction, which I find like really helps to grip your board to the snow if you're riding over anything firm or ice. I really like the headspace on that. It's not like the stiffest board, but it is like kind of a mid flex. So it still like handles fairly well with some speed on groomers. If you're going really fast, it can kind of feel a little bit too loose. But yeah, it does pretty decently on groomers, mostly thanks to the magnet traction. And then it's not the best board for powder. So like outside of the park in powder, because of the twin shape and the C3 profile, it's not a great powder board really at all. But yeah, in the park, super fun. Little by Little wants to know, any chance you're going to see David Jones this year, Kevin? Yeah, hopefully get to ride with David Jones. Yeah, I think it's going to be up to him though, because I can't go to New Zealand. So if he can travel outside of New Zealand, then I hope I get to snowboard with him sometime soon. Michael says, I was looking at some ride boots. The only store near me that has ride boots doesn't have the model I want to look at. If I try to pair on in the model just below the one I want, will it fit? Thanks. Yeah, it should be the same fit for sure. I'd be surprised if it wasn't. Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to like buy boots without like trying them on. I would say, yeah, I don't know. It would be the same fit. I think it should be the same fit. But I don't know. I don't know if you'll like them. Yeah, maybe. I guess you can also find out if the insole is the same. But yeah, it's a little bit of a gamble not being able to try on the exact boot. All right, let's do a few more questions here. All right, we got Jorn saying greetings from the Netherlands. Awesome, thanks for tuning in, man. Gabriella wants to know how many snowboards do you own? Yeah, too many. I don't know, maybe 15 or 20. I'm gonna start giving some snowboards away. So yeah, too many boards. It's too many to have. Kevin says, is there a video touring the Union Binding Factory? Yeah, so that video will come out in a couple weeks. So yeah, I did get to do some filming in. Yeah, big shout out to the crew at Union Bindings. It was an amazing experience, cool to check out the whole factory, see some of the manufacturing processes there, and meet the people. So yeah, video coming out about the Union Factory, probably like early December. Jay wants to know, have you rode the Ultramine Expander yet? If so, how was it? I actually, no, I haven't gotten to ride it yet. I bought it in July, and I didn't bring it to Europe because I didn't think I'd be riding in powder. And it turned out that I ended up getting a bunch of powder days here. But as soon as I get back to North America and we got some snow, I'm definitely going to get the Ultramine Expander out. But my expectation is it's going to be an aggressive sort of all mountain powder style board. So I'm looking forward to it. All right. Jesper wants to know how does the Capita DOA do in powder? I think it actually does. It does okay. So it's like it's not really meant to be a powder board, but with the DOA and the Super DOA, the rocker, the profile is like a camber to like flat and then rocker. So it's not the most aggressive camber snowboard. So if you do take it into powder, you don't have to you do have to get onto your back foot, but you don't have to get onto your back foot as much as you may have to in like a full camber snowboard. So it does okay. You can definitely take it into powder. I had a few days with Super DOA and it was really fun, but it's not as good as like a proper powder snowboard, which will just is much easier. You don't have to be on your back foot as much. NGen wants to know, you gonna go back to the Orca, Kevin? You can't just leave the pod. Awesome, man. Yeah, I'm sure this season I'll get on the Orca a few times, especially to like compare it to like the Ultramine Expander and the Surfer, just to throw that into the mix to see how it compares. I feel like the Orca probably sits right in the middle between Ultramine Expander, and the Surfer is kind of like in between those two type of style boards. So I'll definitely get on one this season for sure. Victor says, hi Kevin, have you ever thought about going in Sweden or Norway? Yeah, I would love to. Yeah, at some point, would love to get over to Sweden and Norway. I don't know a lot about snowboarding up there, so I'll have to look into it, see where the best places are to go, and do it one day for sure. Diego says, "No way, I caught a live stream." Awesome, Diego. Thanks for tuning in, man. Gabrielle wants to know, what is the most expensive snowboard you own? And is the KD a good one? Nice. I don't know what KD is. The most expensive board I own, I think it might be this one. It could be the Super DOA. It's either the Super DOA or the Jones Ultramine Expander. I'm not sure. It's one of those two. They're both all black snowboards, which is kind of interesting. For some reason, when it's an all black snowboard, it seems to be really expensive. All right, let's do 2 more questions. Mitchell says, any cheap goggles? Where should I go to find them? Inexpensive goggles you can get at most places, like especially at if you're at a resort town. They often sell goggles like everywhere, like at the pharmacy, at the gas station, like everywhere you can buy goggles. But yeah, there's some inexpensive pairs for sure. Even if you visited like a sporting goods store, sometimes they'll carry like ski snowboard gear, and you could probably pick up an inexpensive pair for around like $40, $50. So you can definitely find some around. Jesper says, last video you mean to buy the Capita DOA. So about a week ago, I bought it with the Union Force. What do you think about this combo? So hyped for the season. Yeah, man, that's an awesome combo. Yeah, perfect. Capita DOA, you're just gonna love it you can do a bit of everything with it. And yeah, the Force is great pairing. So I think it's perfect. I also have the Union Force bindings. They're like, a binding that you can kind of do everything with as well. So yeah, Jesper, good choice, man. And Charles wants to know, when's the stickers and beanie drop? They are essential. So yeah, once I get back home, back to Whistler, back to North America, I can get the beanies and stickers going again. The last few months I've been like just traveling so much with my wife Jill that we haven't been able to really get like new beanies or stickers in. So that's kind of been a tough thing. But as soon as we get settled back in one place where we can order the stuff in, order some product in, and then ship it out to you guys, then we'll be all on it. Xebec says, top 3 snow resorts for you. Nice, man. I would say Niseko, Japan. Top 3. This is tough. Cardrona, New Zealand. And let's pick one place in Europe. Oh man, I'll just throw this one in because recently we had an amazing time. Hintertux, Austria. It was amazing. All right, cool, awesome guys. Thanks so much for tuning in for the live chat. I'm just gonna cut this one a little bit early. It's getting late here in Europe, and I've been riding and snow. I'm getting tired. So if it's probably a good thing I'll cut this one a little bit short, or else you guys see me falling asleep. But yeah, stay tuned, guys, because I'm gonna have more vlogs coming out from here in Austria. And yeah, I've been having a great time riding here at Zermatt. And yeah, gonna have my gear list video, my 2021 snowboard gear list video coming out soon as well. And yeah, just a quick recap of the gear. Got the Jones Descent backpack, really stoked on this bag. The Volcom BL stretch Gore-Tex jacket, and also Gabby will be riding the Super DOA quite a bit this year as well. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Good luck getting ready for the season. I hope you guys are getting some snow where you are as well. Also, I got links to this gear in the description if you guys need any gear. And yeah, thank you guys so much for tuning in. And I'll talk to you guys on here next week. Sweet. Awesome. Thanks, guys. Have a good weekend, and I'll talk to you guys soon.